Thermal imaging. Why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
If something is extremely cold, that basically...
Don't overthink it. You're good. We got cold spots. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, have fun with this.
Hot spots.
It does. Well, that's a whole other piece of the scientific puzzle. I'll explain it a little bit more later. We're being watched. They're coming to get me, everybody, just so you guys know. I've been invaded. You should be able to see me in there. So red, orange, and yellow guy. So, sorry, Jennifer. So red, orange, and yellow. My beard should be blue. So this is a FLIR thermal imaging camera, everybody. This is what a fireman would use to run into a burning building with. So this is not a phone app you guys are going to be able to go home and download, which, by the way, me being the red, orange, and yellow in there, I point that out because, sorry, fellas, but that means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Yep, there's more women than men out here. I can outrun all of you, even with the bag. But with that, we're looking for cold spots, like Gabe said. Those cold spots are going to be blue and black. We're always going to have blue and black in there. I'm looking for it to move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught it with this guy in the past. That's what we'll hopefully capture with it again. I love to give you stats about the equipment you're about to use because I'm not a TV show host and I'm not a YouTuber. So I capture about 4 to 5 pieces on this guy per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. You guys seeing my point? I don't make stuff up. I'm not here to make stuff up. I want to find this stuff as much as you guys do, but I will also be your biggest skeptic. Just kind of keep that in mind. So I do have dozens of others that are maybes, but about 4 to 5 average per year is what I find on this. And yes, I do about 200 investigations per year from tours and my own. So that is a lot of investigating, hours and hours of reviewing footage. And Bill's looking like, yeah, hell yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff. So with this one, I also have a blue dot bouncing around the screen. It is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops when I review your video. It is about 74 degrees for us ambient out here, so I'll be looking for 59 degrees and colder coming out of this. Yes, the English guy can do math in his head as well. So when we do find something, in case we don't have a blue person, I'm looking for those cold anomalies to be moving from side to side. You guys will see those in the event we capture them because I'll give you all the screenshots and the markers to be able to look at it yourself. So with this one, let's talk to dead people because that's why you guys are here. That's mainly what you're going to see all night. We might get 1 term tonight. We might get 20. I've seen it go all the way up to 30 in a 2.5 hour time span. We'll talk more about that in just a sec. But yeah, with yours, it gets a little bit more technical. I know you said you wanted something simple, but once we start getting you going, you can actually see how it works. That's when we can start showing you more about it.
Okay.
But this is the big red barn. This is where we keep some of the horses for your carriage rides. They can hear us, which is exactly why Jennifer's on mute right now because they don't like that noise. So the history here is a one-liner, and it does explain all of your gear. The history is that this was the same red barn that held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So keywords here would be delivery, milk, eggs, anything relative to a stable. So let's talk about all the communication devices we have going on. We got a lot of spirit boxes, we got a word generator, a little Ouija board, we got a lot. So what's the first question somebody would ask a Ouija board if they were sitting in front of one? If you've never used one, think of a TV show or movie that has. I know Joe's got the answer because he watches all the horror movies, I'm sure. Anyone here? Exactly. Yeah. So, and Gabe, you don't have to raise your hand, man. We're not in school. You can just go right at it. It's interactive. So it's like the 3rd time he's raised his hand. I feel bad. So let's say the 10 of us stood around and I asked, is anybody here? Just like they do on the TV shows. And well, Jennifer hears the answer, no, coming out of her spirit box. That means somebody's here. They answered us. You guys seeing my point? We're not going after yes, no questions. We're going after details. If somebody's here, tell me what color a big red barn is. Now we know we are looking and listening for the color red. However, those of you with the listening spirit boxes, you're using song lyrics and DJs to be able to convey messages back to the rest of us. The word red might not be available from that song lyric or DJ for the ghosty you to be able to convey the message. Fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 things are specifically red. I may take that as something being paranormal if something else was going on. Another example, let's say Karen's word list spells out the word art for us. That doesn't mean anything over here when we're talking about ponies and football players. But then Madison hears the number 40 coming out of hers. Spike pretty quickly while we're here. So if you have a camera, hit those 4 buttons. I think we have 2 cars left in here. Super great. Like 9 in here when I watched her here earlier. They leave soon. Welcome to a parking lot, everybody. Congrats, you made it. We're right next to a smelly dumpster. That's awesome. I know. So, what is this place? This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. The mansion sat in the front of the space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant. Came all the way across, and you guys are standing with me in the servant and slave quarters for the home. communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from your communicators, and keep in mind your answers. So if you guys are asking a question, it can go anywhere. We have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder, but it should all record audio, and everybody else has a communication device as well. So Jennifer, you ask a question, might go to Karen, might go to his audio. We never know. That's the beauty of this. That's why you guys are going to tell me all the silly things that you're hearing on your spirit boxes. So, I'm going to take a drink. You guys are going to make me talk all that. So, who the heck were Charles and Eliza Pinkett? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case you guys weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know, in the event the name Charles is heard, which one it is by secondary clues, so I can identify them and then address them appropriately. You guys are starting to see the point on the secondary clues. Cool. Now, I love the blank stares, by the way. I love it because I start really getting into this, and you guys are like, "What is happening?" But anyway, where's the ghost?
What is happening by the dumpster?
Oh,
That's horrible.
It's a horrible smell, so I'm waiting for it. It'll probably come up with the word smell here shortly, hopefully. But anyway, the son and the nephew, Charles and Charles, they were both signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially less than 30 days away from the election. So we're going to move on. If I don't give the gentlemen their recognition for signing that piece of paper, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of the spirit box. So I just give it to them, we move on. We're going to discuss Eliza instead, much better history. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was, do not expect numbers like 12 and 14 when young ladies got married back in the 1700s. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they married. Could be considered a creepy age gap back then, could be considered a creepy age gap now. So I'm just going to put that out there like that. Moving on. She married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his children home one last time so he could see them. Well, Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. It is 1744 when that happened, and you do not get married in that year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet. There's no such thing. She married this guy out of love. This is not a horror story like your TV shows. This is a place of respect and love. It's a true love story. So, moving on. She was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England right to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. It is a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you actually have it on right now, because that's the way we use it. When she got her seeds, no idea what to do with it. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going, and then she learned how to make the dye from them, moved it to a cash crop, and then got a hold of her father and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. It is something absolutely unheard of. So that is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys showed up to come see me.
Oh, yes.
So with every communicator, I'm going to give you a set of focus questions. You can either just focus on them or say them out loud. No right or wrong way to do this. I'm here every night asking the same questions, and she knows what you're about to ask. If you go rogue, meaning you ask your own questions, that's okay. 3 little rules. A, be respectful. This is a place of respect. Second, no yes, no questions. We've already covered that. And third, do not ask about Eliza's children. I will explain before we leave the space. So once I hand out all of the questions to the individual communication devices, I will have you guys spread out. I will do about 1 to 3 round robins to see what's going on with your devices, and then bring us back. I will go over my notes with you and kind of show you like what's happening if we have anything at all. This is the space last night where nothing happened. I love being open and honest with you guys. This is normally the thrill of like starting off an investigation with me is this location. So fingers crossed, Tom starts getting some readings and you guys start hearing a bunch of shit that's relevant. So communicators, I'm gonna go with Madison and Bill, you guys are gonna have the same set of questions based off of your spirit boxes that you're using. You're gonna go after Eliza's death. 4 major things that we get answers to: her age at time of death, how she died, where she's buried, and what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So age, how, where, president. Those are the 4 that's the 4 easiest ways to remember that one. So with our little Ouija board device, I'm hoping it's going to go in tandem with Karen's device. So you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials in order, ELP. Basically, the reason why I'm telling you this is because Eliza is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. I know, right? Kind of a jerk move depending on how you look at it. Ironically enough, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So you're going to hopefully get the Eliza's initials, and you are going to be looking for which Eliza is it. So that's kind of how this goes. You can also go after the marriage questions, because I think we'll give you numbers as well. Just kind of keep that in mind. last but not least, your device only gives me 1 to 2 syllables at a time, so I give your questions nice and simple. A mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it and I can't. Ask what happened to it. If you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. These are 3 very specific numbers. So remember, your answers can go anywhere, and that goes for everybody else as well. We don't know where they're going to actually fall, except for obviously the initials. I doubt that Liza's going to give us an ELP on a regular spirit box. So yours is really the only major focus. So I'm going to keep you behind with me just for a few minutes while everybody else kind of gets started. Tom, have you seen any numbers yet? Okay. Anything else? What's the word on your screen now? Passion. Yeah, there's a lot of passion out of me. To get to your word list, just so you know, Karen, there's a little white box to the right of your word.
Yes.
So go ahead and tap it, and then you'll see the whole list. Newest words are on the top. I'll often ask you, like, what are the last 3 or 4 terms that we have? So why don't you go ahead and give them to us now?
Passion, rhythm, and horrible.
What was the last one?
Horrible.
Horrible. And then you get back to your main screen by the top right button. So both your buttons are on the right-hand side. So that's the easiest way to use that. So if you haven't started recording with your camera already, let's spread out, stay away from the 2 vehicles, and I'm going to keep her with me. Unmute on yours.
I'm just asking when to mention.
And then if you get the what,
Where do you wanna
go
go?
after the date.
Okay.
And again, if you want to go rogue and
Where
be
do you wanna
respectful,
walk?
go for it. See what
She
else we
needs
got.
to spread out.
Do I have to hold down for
Go down in the
Okay.
corner.
I did just go down.
All right.
Stay away from the car.
I can't hear you.
Oh, no, you don't
You said to stay away from the car.
Okay.
Then tap it to stop.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, I don't So should I just start asking questions?
Yeah. Out loud.
What?
Say it out loud.
Oh, okay. Hi, Eliza. I was wondering if you would be able to tell me how old you are. Passed away. Are you available?
Trying not to record people.
Ask another one.
How old were you when you passed away? How did you pass away? Are you here with us today?
she died?
Yeah.
Did you ask about who was her father?
No.
All right, you crazy kids. What have we got so far? Anything weird going on?
No.
Have you heard anything?
No, not really.
You haven't heard any radio chatter at all? No DJs talking, no songs?
I guess yeah, but it's all just music.
And that's what I want you to hear. So if
Okay.
you hear somebody singing, if it's
Okay.
like Stairway to Heaven and that's the lyric you hear, that's what I want you to tell me you heard.
Okay.
Because again, it's,
Red Hot Chili Peppers Halo was on like a minute ago.
but what was the lyric you heard?
It was like the chorus of it.
Which is?
I can't fucking remember it right offhand.
So our 1700s ghost doesn't know who the Red Hot Chili Peppers
Right.
are, nor the name of the song.
Right.
That's why I need the lyric.
Right.
So I'm hopefully proving a point that it's really about like you fine-tuning your listening skills to like, oh, I just heard by a Honda, and then you think it's by a Honda, and then you heard Stairway to Heaven, or you
Gotcha.
heard I got a blank space with your name. Like I want to know those things just
Got it.
because I'm going to try to piece together the puzzle at the end of it. Most of it's going to be hoopla bullshit.
Okay.
But at the end of it, you don't know that you're not going to hear the word blue relevant to indigo, and then somebody else gets dye your clothes. Kind
Right.
of see how it
It
goes.
all goes
Oh, you guys
together.
really picked a stinky spot
I
to stand
just
in.
was
Yeah, I
thinking
know, I
that. We just moved over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's a stinky old parking lot, but this place can be super haunted when it wants to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I pissed off Eliza in some way, shape, or form, but last night the space was like dead.
Wow.
Like I was
Okay.
like, what is happening right now? To me, that was anomalous all on its own because that only happens in this space maybe once or twice a year.
Wow.
Where just nothing happens?
Yeah,
Oh.
like literally, like I didn't even have an EMF reading. Like the EMF in this location can get very, very high. Even the average for what this place is, being outdoors,
Yeah.
can be very, very high, compared to other locations.
Yeah.
So the fact that we had
Wow.
nothing, I'm like, we got to go. There's no point in us being here. So I
Right.
hurried up, I gave him the answers, and we moved on.
Got it.
Just so you know, your camera is small. So I don't always follow up with you in real time.
Yeah.
I put it up on YouTube so I can watch it on a computer. You guys are going to watch it on your TV screens. So if I'm not following up with you as much as I am, say, with Bill, all the communicators to me are real-time stuff.
Yeah.
So the cameras are like, I'm going to capture that shit later. Now, if you
Right.
think you saw some weird anomalous cold item going by, I'm going
Yeah.
to take a note, watch the thermal at Pinckney Mansion site, and I'll watch the whole thing in double time and see what goes on. That's what happened
Right.
with the 4 streaks coming down last night. Somebody thought they saw something. I was able to debunk what they thought they saw, but literally 30 seconds later, something else,
actually
yeah,
happened.
something actually
Okay.
happened.
Got it.
So
Yeah, no, I'm just picking up like puddles and
Mhm.
cars in the sky.
no, we have like gravel, water, cement. Like there's a lot of different temperatures
Right.
on the ground.
Yeah.
For this particular part of the video, I am watching the wall because
Mhm.
the wall is hanging onto the sun's heat.
Right.
So therefore, if a blue anomalous thing is going to go across it, that's where we'll normally capture
Yeah.
it. It's not going to be across the colder ground.
Right.
If we do capture it on the ground, it's probably going to be black. Across the wall, it'll be blue, just based
Okay.
off of the reference of heat.
Okay.
So again, you have to learn a lot about like the science of this stuff when you start really like, oh, let me throw a
Yeah.
thermal camera in there, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot to this.
Right.
It's not just about finding blue people.
Right.
You got to know what the hell you're looking for.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah.
hopefully you got a much better gist. Like you're really gonna have to fine tune that listening skill and give
You're
me
right.
all the details. Some people
Yeah.
will actually pull out their phone and just take notes of whatever they're
I
hearing.
think that's what I'm gonna have to do because I'm not gonna be
You're
able
not
to
gonna
remember all this
remember.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
usually it can be a lot. I mean, if you get really good at this, like some people just give me like they rattle off like 50 things,
Yeah,
and I just cherry pick
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, just hold your phone in your other hand and record so you can get whatever you're saying.
Most
Yeah.
people will type it out in like a
I'll
keep
type
notes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Easiest
Leave me
way to do
alone.
it.
Whatever
honestly.
you want to do.
Whatever you guys want to do. Have fun with it. It's your night.
Yeah. was that?
It might have been like a weird derogatory slur.
Tell me when you hear stuff.
I mean, no disrespect, man.
Rick Astley. Never gonna
What
give you up.
words? What words? Exactly. Never
Yeah.
gonna give you up.
I am sorry. I am sorry if I offended you.
How's it going with you guys?
This says urban.
He told me to focus on walls and things that would hold the heat. So that's what I'm trying to look for. But it mostly just wants to show me the sky that's colder, puddles.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Oh, I lost Bill.
This says resume. It's just the
Oh.
resume.
Okay, well.
I don't know.
I'm waiting for you to tell me what you're hearing.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what you said, Mark.
It's gonna open this door.
Man. Over there next door.
Ask some of the questions that she didn't answer before, and maybe
Yeah.
you'll get some of it.
Hey Eliza, how old were you when you passed away?
Because you just got a 4, and I gave Bill a few extra tips and tricks of how to listen to that, we'll just like do one more quick round robin with everybody, kind of giving him an opportunity. Seems like I'm just going to so we're going to give him a minute, see how he does with it, and hopefully you guys are taking much higher than
You got more
the
stuff?
average here.
What's that?
Like, we're not even
Waiting on you.
Oh.
Did you get more?
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, we couldn't hear.
Oh, he said go around and do one more.
Oh, I can't hear anything. So.
Second grade.
Oh, sorry.
taking notes.
Let me see your notes. I want to make sure you're getting the gist of it. Oh, God, dude, I didn't bring my glasses. Read it off to me. I'm an old guy.
Make it bigger.
No, maybe it was screw.
I'm older than you guys. I get my sight's going.
Probably not. Shoulder.
You'd be surprised.
Turn around and
Okay.
what's really interesting.
I'm waiting for something relevant.
Permission from God.
Okay.
Strictly live. Can easily happen. Battlefield now. Feel the noise. Shoot his gun. All at once. Public safety protocols.
Okay.
Dancing in the rain.
Okay.
All I ever wanted. All I ever needed.
Okay.
So far.
Okay.
Break the chain and get up. I don't know if that's all.
So what I picked out of yours was Battlefield and shoots his guns.
Yeah.
So see how I kind of like look for things that had nouns in them?
Yeah.
That's what I look for. So things that names, numbers. Battlefield is a noun. Like that's a thing I can prove.
Right.
So hopefully we have something relevant to that whole Battlefield shoots his guns thing. I'm waiting for a name, hopefully from somebody else.
Okay.
But like all those conversational pieces, super great. But unless you're actually holding a conversation, I still only count that as like one thing that's happening. Like, hey, how are you? I had tea today. That's great.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's all one thing to me.
Yeah.
So I usually don't write that stuff down unless, of course, there's so much going on and it's recorded. You don't have a recorded device.
Right.
But with like Battlefield and shoots his guns, love it. Like I'm all about it. I'm a little bit excited right now. So I'm hoping that that person that deals with the Battlefield that's actually relevant
Right.
to the space is going to show up on somebody's device, and we just missed it in real time.
Right.
So I'm a little bit excited. I'm not a TV show host. This is what it looks like when I get excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Love is a Battlefield.
Yep.
That song. So
Yeah. But I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what color is a big red barn? You might hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the Nosed Reindeer.
Just the song.
Just the
Just
red.
the red.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because, we're
That's
it's
fine.
slowed
Okay.
down. It's
Got
going to
it.
pick up
Right.
words before and after. So
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
getting the point.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
funny is guys are usually better at this than females. That's why when you ask for the thermal, I'm like, okay, we'll give him a spirit box tonight. I normally hand it off to females because you think females talk a little bit more than males on a general basis. And
Yeah.
that's not usually the case. The males are usually the ones that are better at listening to these things. So it's kind of like, all right, cool, Bill's going to get this one. I don't know, you got excited. I could see it. What do you
I
got?
don't know. Could this be Jay Monroe, Vice President?
That's a big stretch.
Okay.
It's not the right answer either.
Okay, good.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Ashley, do we have anything else?
You hold my phone for a second.
Make sure you mark where you left off. That you already told them.
Oh. Yeah.
Do you still have your list up?
Yeah.
So read your list off just so she can kind of see like all the little things that you picked up from yours.
Okay.
Or unless you want to just let her read it.
Just let her read it. It's just where like songs stop and play or commercials say something. I've just been writing it down.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I didn't write down most of what he did. I took out the nouns. So anything that I can prove that might actually be relevant to the space, that's what I pick out. And if I don't know something and it's a noun, I still write it down. A name, a number, anything I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. All right, what do you got going on?
We've heard the word hot 3 times.
Okay.
And 329.
Okay. What did you ask with the 29?
Yeah, I think it was how old she was.
Hot 29, and what was the other one?
300. The 300 was, when did she lose her home?
Okay. No. Okay. I think it's time to wrap this one. Just because I think you guys got the gist of your devices. If you have a video.
The alley coming through, I heard red, and I want to say it was either neck or back.
First instinct?
Neck. And then we were by the Bird cookie store,
Okay.
and it said yes.
Okay. Did you ask a question?
No.
Then it's irrelevant.
Then I heard radio, and then I heard the song Tell Me Lies.
None of you are from here, right? I'm like lying to you guys all night long. You know that. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I give you all the verification. I'm not lying to you. So I guess we'll go off to Bill next. What do you got?
I only got a couple, but one of them said murder. Then it was the time 6:30. Said and done, and only lonely.
seem
The 6:30
interesting.
could also be a date.
It was
So-
time.
Yeah, but it could be a date.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, you're right.
So even though I said tonight at 6:30,
Right.
I still have to look at it in all aspects of the word,
Gotcha.
of the phrase. But I do like the word murder here, and
That was as we were leaving, like
if
the
we were
lot.
leaving, yeah. So I mean, we're probably closer to that. But again, it's not like these ghosts don't know. Like I'm on my way.
Right.
We're going to talk about the murder, and then said and done is an interesting piece too. Madison, what'd you get out of yours?
Last time, 1,000 miles, 92.
92. 1,000 miles. We all sing the "I could walk 1,000 miles" in our heads right now. Anybody else communication? Karen, what do you got?
The last four: birth, 40, opening, component.
40.
And it said cookie going. It said cupcake going by the cookie store.
Oh,
No.
I like it. Somebody's hungry.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, let's get you
That's
on
when
mute.
it said yes. Maybe we should have
Like
stopped for a
cupcake,
cookie.
yes. Everybody get a free sample. So cameras, let's get them up and running. Obviously, oh yeah, let's get you back on mute.
Yeah.
There you go, perfect. You are, when other tours come through here, they're going to come out of the ivy wall because there's a little set of stairs right there, or they'll come in the way that we did. Any passersby, point your cameras to the ground. We'll all understand the footage of your feet, so you guys will get the point. So I'm sorry, Stacy, what do we have going on with yours? Anything? Nothing. So Tom, you're going to be looking for anything 8 or above while we're here. We have some lamp posts in here, and they will give off up to a 7. So I think I covered just about everybody's devices. Perfect. Welcome to Philadelphia Alley. Every ghost tour comes down here. I was going to take this out of my route because they all come down here, but this ghost follows me around. So I figured I might as well just stick with his origin story. And he just looked like, oh, great. I just seen the head, and I'm like, great. But this guy, we will always be near a place of raised emotion for this gentleman everywhere we go from here moving forward. He does have a code word to let me know that he's nearby. I will not let you know what that code word is until it shows up, and you'll be able to verify that from any previous investigation on my website. So I'll let you know if and when that actually happens. So this used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. And it was kind of a secretive place because dueling was illegal. You had to find hiding spots. So the said and done thing is kind of interesting because we're going to be talking about an actual duel. We all talk about the same damn duel. I'm just going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a cheesy campy marshmallow tour like everybody else. Let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening to a spirit box or having a recorded spirit box, if the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up here, it is not coincidence. It shows up all the time. It's part of his name. So he moves down here from Rhode Island. So Stacy, on yours, you're going to be looking for the initials RI in that order because it is less than 3 letters. I want to make sure it's in order. So it's going to make more sense when I tell you why here in just a moment. He moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda, she just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his medical practice down here. So he comes down, and his coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. So there's kind of our murder scene, right? But by the way, that coachman setting him up that way is kind of like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world, if you really think about it. But anyway, moving on. Somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer, and the somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar, Stacy? All right. So it's exactly why we have the device that's in your hand. We were getting RI from Madison's device all the time when I wasn't looking for it, and I needed to know how it was referenced, whether to the doctor or to Ralph. We've had it about 6 or 7 times show up on the little Ouija board device that you're holding about in the past year since we've had it. So take that for what it's worth. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them and you'll be safe and good to go. The doc took him up on that offer and the 2 gents became friends. Now the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. Proving his point, he's not after Amanda's money. So she gets wind of this, she's moving down soon, and Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the damn story. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor. There's some legitimacy there. Let's get into it. But I told you we're in Dueler's Alley, so why are we here telling you about a whistling doctor? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So on their way home from seeing Richard III one night, they are arguing over the new actress they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly. They go their separate ways, but Ralph left and went to his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. When Doc saw this, and he rebutted, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. I want you guys to keep in mind, it's in the 1700s that we're speaking of, and shit was really done back then. This argument started over an actress, and they're about to try to kill each other. Moving on. They came down here, back to back, took their 10 paces, they turned, Doc points his gun in the air and shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend, just wanted to have the courage to show up, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, he fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, and he dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about the last statement that I just said. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds, a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed because he died. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here, which is all 300 plus of them, will come down here during their tours. They will tell their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it'll be on one of those 4 devices. However, on Maddison's device, I can't tell you how many times I'm spot checking it, and remember, I listen to minute 1, 5, 10, 15. I'm not looking for anything. I just look for weird shit, write it down, and then review where we were. So, I can't tell you how many times a whistling part of a song showed up, and then the word doctor shows up immediately after. Doctor, get it all the time. It's just him saying hello. So take that for what it's worth. If you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through here without me, using the voice recorders from your phones, because remember, I've been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that in just a minute because that's the fun part of the story. Just remember, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here. So just keep that in the back of your brain. It is very quiet down here tonight, and I don't know why the hell these 2 gentlemen are just standing right at the edge of this. And nobody else, as you all look, they're all just kind of like staring at us, like, what the hell's going on? It is weird. So let's talk about why I got kicked out of here. Shows you how much history I actually put into this place. This alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. So there used to be a wall up there about halfway between where I'm standing and Cumberland Street. And the reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. This was called Cow Alley before Dueler's Alley. So there's cows, goats, and chickens down here. And the reason I'm telling you this is because they started down by Queen Street and they worked their way up this way slowly over the years to build the alley. Those bricks are older than the ones we're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there in one of those bricks. A fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my group all the way down there after telling them about that handprint as a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That's the last place you're going to find the child that made that handprint in the brick. So November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there, and they stopped and they huddled around the brick waiting for something to happen. I know nothing's going to happen with my equipment because he's not there. So we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful and trying to shoo everybody along, not realizing we were actually out of bounds for tours that time of night. So the new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical because she was on the tour that night. She's about 14 years old. She thought it was great that her dad was getting yelled at. We just moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, so you kind of scarred me for life. I don't work holidays anymore. So the next day, I called my partner that brought me into tourism, and I told him what happened. And he laughed at me too, just kind of like my daughter did. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway, otherwise it's residential. He's like, you got to reroute your group tonight. It's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of that space too. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. I was kind of like, well, let's see what happens. I took them around the corner and told them what I did know about piracy, and somebody else heard the number 300 coming out of their spirit box. I know we heard that number earlier tonight, but it wasn't relevant to our space. I didn't know what it meant, so I go back to the office and I research it. We were there November 28th of 2020, and Bonnie's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Nice.
Wow.
So you guys are like all excited. I was actually kind of pissed off. Let me explain. I obviously into vampires, not pirates, and the problem with pirates is I have a master's degree in creative writing. So that means whenever I'm researching anything, I like facts and data. pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. That's a problem for me. I like to be able to confirm things. So whenever you guys found anything that was over there that could have been relevant to something, I had to read like 3 or 4 books just to verify it. Let's all lower our cameras because this one looks like she's going to be walking through here. But again, I was doing that story for like 4 years until no more tours allowed in that area. So that's kind of how this went down. Yeah. There's a bunch of cameras down on the ground. We're going to let this young lady pass through. You can pass through, hon. You're fine.
Bad time? Bad time?
No, go ahead. You're fine.
You can pass.
Yes, ma'am. This is a ghost hunting tour.
My husband just did it. We did walk down and back. So I was
Oh, is that what you did? You're wondering why he's looking at us.
I was like, why did those 2 men send a woman? What if she doesn't come back now?
I know,
Now
right?
how bad will they feel?
So with that said, we are going to go up and around the corner. So Gabe's camera is going to be the focus of our next story. So I had to replace our pirate story with something else rather quickly. We're going to, yeah, we don't like to. Did you find a ghost?
No, I got scared.
I'll tell you, this
You're
is
so
one of the most
brave.
beautiful spots in all of Charleston, day or night. This is one of my favorite places. I love this happening.
Have you
Gorgeous.
seen a ghost here?
I've actually caught quite a bit of evidence down there.
Saw a shadow figure a long time ago.
I get a lot of spirit box activity here. I've got things on camera here. Yes, we've gotten plenty. I stop here every night, so it's a gorgeous spot.
To your friends.
Pretty much, and he does follow me around to other spaces too. So watch behind you. I figured that would have been more golden than you trying to think. So Gabe's camera will be the focus of our next story when we go up and around. I'll give you the history, and then obviously you guys will be able to get back to work with your spirit boxes, and we'll get about 5 to 8 minutes worth of footage up there, just based off of other tourists trying to get to that same space. And then I'll explain our last 2 stops that we'll be working with, because they're going to be a little bit different than what we've been doing, with these first 2 stops. So anything I need to know about? Let's start off with Karen. Did you get anything since we've been here?
Fear, disease, cut, normally, vacation.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. Anybody else listening in on yours? Bill, I've seen that around your neck the entire time. You're on mute. Madison, did you hear anything? Or were you listening to me? Okay, and that's fine. And that's why we record everything. So kind of, keep track of the timestamps as we kind of move along. So Gabe, how many lights are on the back of your actual light on the top device?
Me or med? Me.
Med? I'll take that. No, on the front or on the back of it. There should be blue lights on the back.
Oh, MD.
One blue light.
1 blue. So yeah, we're going to swap that out when we get up around the corner. Was that MED or MD?
Yeah, MED.
I'm still going to take it as med. I know it's a big stretch, but I like it. We're not getting much tonight. We're going to reach at straws a little bit. That's definitely relevant. But if RX or DR shows up, that's a good one too. But RI is usually what I look for here. And again, the longest word we've actually ever had spill out on that thing, just so you know, has been at this location, and it spelled out the word cheese.
Cheese?
Like correctly, like CHEESE. Like it was weird.
It's a hungry ghost.
And by the way, those little orbs that I told you guys about that we found last night on Gabe's camera, this was the location. So again, I'm going to be watching this video again just because he did have it pointed in different directions. So we'll see if we can get it again. You were pointed down the alley the whole time. Did you see anything at all? Okay. All right. Let's go learn about. Yes.
Why did he whistle?
He was a happy guy. 1700s. It was just a thing.
Okay.
I did dive into that because it was like it just sounds very cheesy.
Yeah.
But it was a
Maybe
thing.
that's why it said cheese. Because it's cheesy.
Oh shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or the fact that all of the livestock was here, and they probably
Oh,
had to
yeah.
make cheese from the livestock.
Oh, yeah.
So again, it could be looked at in a number of ways, but there's no verifying clue to know which way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Should we record as we're going, or?
no, we're actually. For your cameras, you can stop them. We're gonna go up and around the corner. I'll swap out that light. You guys, you're gonna actually have the best footage because we can see it clearly. But the sign is right over there, so you're gonna want to get footage of the sign for everybody to see the no ghost, but the Holy Ghost sign. But Sue's grave is actually in the back of the cemetery. So it's right to the left of the cross back there, the cross headstone. So look past the tree. There's a cross headstone back there, but yeah, you can go right up to it. But yeah, we'll get about 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage while we're here. Yours, Bill, Joe, is super easy to use because I know there's a lot of like layers in there, but right now with the shot you have, if anything shows up, I'm gonna take a look at it. Kind of see where that's going. Now that's gonna be like a 10-foot tall ghost. I'm definitely not gonna look at that because that's picking up the tree, obviously. So once I look for the patterns and kind of see what's going on, you can unmute while we're here, kind of see what we got going on. Reminders of insects coming down right in front of Gabe's camera. There's a local noise saloon. Number 7 is relevant here because we get double 7s here all the time, and it doesn't always come from the same. It's Dr. Lett's birthday, so I 7's up. So I'm actually really excited.
Okay.
How's that little Ouija board coming?
Well, I was gonna say the only I've got Z. You said Sue,
Sue.
but it's got Z.
Yeah. Close but no cigar. Did that just say 7 again?
I thought it said noted.
I heard no too.
Okay. So like noted.
I thought it said noted.
You guys have questions for Sue. I'm not gonna like control this environment. Ask away if you want to, or put a focus in your brain.
Tell us again who Sue was.
The woman that died.
It's a woman who died.
Okay, how did she die?
Stillborn child.
Okay.
She died 6 days later.
Gotcha.
Still disappointed at the picnic mansion on that place. This nice.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Didn't do nothing.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I pissed her off, but she gets over it. By the way, the light up there to the left, the church put that there on purpose to stop people from taking photographs up here to try to recreate that apparition. But obviously,
this light?
Yep, the giant one.
Uh-huh.
But obviously, my cameras can see right through them, so that's why we're using these 3 specific type of cameras. It doesn't usually give us the light flares that they think it will. So, do a lot of research to make sure we have the right equipment to do the job. Bill's writing a novel over there. I love it.
Am I on your way, dude? No, you're good. All right.
Something.
Let me listen to your phone.
It's at a 5.7.
Yeah. Did my
5.7?
camera just turn on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not there now. It went back to 0.
It should go back to 0.
Okay. Yeah. But it went to
Taking 5.7.
5.7.
One time we got a little bit of something.
Getting any weird things on yours yet?
Nope.
Me either. I'm getting mosquito bites.
And mosquitoes in South Carolina.
It's our state bird.
I thought that was in Michigan.
There's a reason why I wear pants all year round doing this. I don't care if it's 110 degrees, I am wearing pants.
Walk around. If it's summer, I wear shorts.
I tried wearing shorts down here. My legs just get eaten alive.
And during the winter, I still wear shorts, even if it's freezing below. Yes, I am
Definitely
crazy.
picking up on that, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
It's a nice tree.
Got a face on
Yeah,
it.
he does.
I challenge you to come to Michigan and wear shorts in the winter.
Challenge, as the internet meme would say, challenge accepted.
I think it just said no.
Nope.
Nope.
Mine's not even spelling out anything.
You got nothing going on?
No,
Stacy?
no, it just added no, it's added nothing.
Alright, let's see what Bill's got, because he's the one taking, like, writing the novel over here. Read him off. What do you got?
Respect,
Okay.
glimpse of life, foundations of people, pour me a drink.
I'm going to swap the foundations of people. I like to respect these foundations. Remember the signers of the Constitution I told you guys about earlier? One of them is buried here. He is a founding father
Yeah.
of South Carolina. So, foundation of people makes complete sense while we're here. Okay, keep going.
Pour me a drink, pull me into the water, run away, church,
We're on
Yeah.
Church Street.
bad breath, Rock and roll fantasy. Smiled and laughed. David. Saturday. 101.7. What's love got to do with it? Yeah, Tina Turner.
Yep.
Showed up there. I stand. Information about salary and early afternoon.
Man, it's like a person.
They're dancing.
Sorry. She will correct you every single time. Yeah, I used to call her Susan when I first started telling this story. But I would get like, Sue, like coming through, like don't call me Susan. Like, yeah, weird, angry
So
stuff.
her name is Sue.
Sue.
Movement. I just put it on and said movement.
Sue, what happened to your
I like
baby?
that little anomaly you had in here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely might have into that.
So weird.
I heard that. Right.
It's like changing a radio station.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Huh? Hey, I'm sorry.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like a radio station.
And that's exactly what it is. Yep. It's just like the tuner in your car.
Yeah.
When you're trying to find a good station, you just hit the seek button and it just seeks until it finds something.
Yeah.
Same principle, only it doesn't stop. It just keeps going, and when it reaches the end, it starts over again. And it just keeps going. Like it literally goes to, like you've probably been through that thing at least 1,000 times already, Tom.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Huh? You can't do it no more? I'll hold that. I'll listen to it.
You're gonna need that for the Estes method. You still want to do the Estes? Okay. What's the timer look like on your camera, Gabe?
7 minutes and 55 seconds at now.
I'm Harry.
Harry?
Yeah. And I will say something is going on with my left eye.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm just,
Like something in there, itchy? Like what do you got?
yeah, I don't know. Well, it's itchy.
Alright, let's put a stop to those cams.
But it was really
2 more blocks down, and you don't need to record it.
Oh, okay.
Here. And obviously, you can turn your spirit box all the way up, and don't mess with your volume. You want to make sure you're not cheating. Gabe, with yours, have you done virtual reality before?
No, sir, have not.
Okay, so just so you know, this is not going to be Jurassic Park eating your face off kind of shit. You're
Noted.
going to see a galaxy off in the distance, and then an image will appear in front of that from time to time. You're going to tell us what the image is. It could be a cartoon, a painting, a photograph. We don't know what it's going to be. Just describe it in a very simple term, because you're going to have 2 people trying to talk over you. So when you get in there, I'm just setting it up so all you have to do is look straight ahead. There is a focus button right here where my thumb is at. You can turn that, and it will focus to wherever you are comfortable.
Starting.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that he's under, Henry, I'm just setting up the blue box. These folks can't hear me. Madison, what color is the blue? Okay, perfect. She can't hear me either. Henry, we're going to start off with your job like we always do, but first I want to kind of pay my condolences
The
based on
devil.
today's date. Can you tell us what today is? Just look straight ahead and set up your focus. Henry, what day is today? You could tell us the date. You could tell us what happened.
My killer.
Welcome to my world. Fine. Henry, thank you for that. Can you tell us who the killer or what the killer was? Might be hard to find the
In
exact.
public.
I see like a cat face. It's either like a jaguar or a cheetah.
Okay. Let me know if any other elements show up in that. somebody remind Maddie to Madison to tell us what you did?
Cash out.
See, tell us what you're hearing.
Oh,
Tell us what you're hearing.
I can't understand it.
Henry, I appreciate the phrase "my killer." Can you tell us what the killer was? I want to get back to that. Today's the anniversary of it. Let's talk about it. I know it's usually uncomfortable for you. Tell us what the killer was. It wasn't a Jaguar. You can use the blue box to tell us too.
How many belonging to the peasant? Peace of mind.
Henry, today's the anniversary of your death. Who was the killer?
It's starting to look like a man.
I love you, man.
That was serious and deep. I brought a tear to my eye, everybody. What's the time period of the man in the picture, Gabe?
Like 1700-ish.
Okay. I guess first question I have is, does he have any facial hair?
Looks like a beard. Or it could be a goatee.
Interesting. Okay, I'll hang on to that. We're going to be able to see those images when we're done anyway. Notice how Bill got quiet, by the way, when I stopped asking questions? And I was asking questions to Gabe instead? Henry, back to you, sir. Can you, again, tell us what today is? You said my killer, or hopefully you're going to tell us what the killer is. We're using all the different boxes tonight. I got most of them out. You can use any of them.
He doesn't appear to be wearing glasses.
Passport.
Henry, tell us about your work. Let's get into that. Let's start with a happier thing instead. What did you do for work? What was your job? Wow, she's really struggling with that.
Whoa, okay, I see a woman in Victorian era clothing.
It's okay. If she's not hearing it, then she's not hearing it. Okay.
A blue dress with a bowler hat with a yellow flower in it.
What kind of flower is it?
Looks like a dandelion. It's yellowish.
Henry, let's get some more answers out of you vocally. Let's talk about your work. What did you do?
15%.
Henry, what type of work did you do? You had 3 major jobs. I told these folks about you being a writer and that you also fought in a war, but what was your other job? I didn't tell them about that. What did you do before all of those things? Dr. Ladd, if you're here, just use your code word and
Mercy.
we'll redirect questioning. But Henry, back to you. I'm looking for your job where you met your wife.
Okay, I see
Wow, lots of images.
a
That's a
fish.
lot.
Looks like a whale.
You weren't a fisherman, Henry.
You an artist?
No. What do you have? You have artist?
Artist?
Yeah, it does look like a paintbrush. And there's red paint on the brush.
Are we sure that it's paint and not?
Blood on a pen.
That's my thought exactly. Okay, Henry. I'm sticking to how you met your wife. How did you meet her?
Sending out an SOS.
How did you meet your wife? What occupation did you have when you met?
Early morning.
I didn't say
Finale.
when. I asked how. What was your job when you met her?
Alright, I see lawn.
Obsession.
Anything on the lawn, or is it just like a hillside? Like,
It's like a hillside. The
Okay.
image is still very, very fuzzy.
3,500.
Henry,
Probably a groundskeeper.
you met her long before you were 35. Let's get back to your work. Maybe we can get some answers since you'd like to talk about that. Again, today's the anniversary of your death, Henry. I want to get back to your work. Can you tell us what you're most famous for? They're teaching your work in colleges as recognition. Talking about the work that you did for the war. What type of work was that, Henry? I lost track of time, by the way. I forgot to start the damn timer. We'll give him another, we'll just say
This
3.
says 7 minutes.
7? Okay, I was going to say about 3 more minutes. That probably sounds about right. I'm really surprised she's struggling.
Faces temptation.
I thought she was going to be like spewing at the mouth. This is what she asked me to do at the beginning. Just so you know.
What's your profession? How you living?
Henry, we're asking you about your profession. What did you do?
92.5.
Lots of numbers.
Right here.
You were a writer. Thank you. I'll take that. It's about time you found the actually right frequency to be able to answer us. Can you tell us what you wrote about?
She's my pride and joy.
You did write about your wife a little bit, but I'm looking for something specific. What did you write about? What was the main theme of
Taking drugs.
More than about taking drugs. The theme of most of your work.
Advice.
Leave out your family members. What did you write about? I asked you about Katie earlier, and you didn't want to talk about it. We're going to stick to my questioning. You let me know when we hit that 10-minute marker, since I'm losing track of time tonight.
Minute and a half left.
Okay, Henry, we're losing time. I've asked you a lot of questions.
Full access.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I know, right? Henry, again, condolences towards your death, as today is that anniversary. I don't have the exact number anniversary in my head right now. But
Yeah, I'm getting something. There are people in a field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he's like pointing at us all.
I'm looking back.
They look like they're
Time frame. Because we're running out of time. We're going to cut them off. Time era?
I would say colonial-ish.
Okay.
It's still fuzzy.
We'll take a look at it when you get out of there. Henry, we're going to wrap this up. Can you tell us goodnight?
Thank you, Henry. It's been an honor speaking with you.
Henry, I know.
I'll do what's necessary.
Well, why don't you tell us goodnight? That's what's necessary and cordial. Henry, last chance, going once. Going twice. Alright, let's get our blindfolds tapped out. Okay, go ahead and peel that thing off your face. We're dying to see those images. We're all done.